This is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the upcoming lunar eclipse, which is going to be taking place on May 16th on the Vishakha Nakshatra in the early degrees of the Scorpio sign. So now friends, as a lot of you must be getting confused that why it's taking place in the Scorpio, or why I'm saying Scorpio, not the Libra, because Rahu and Ketu are in the axis of Aries and Libra. So now friends, just a day before this lunar eclipse, Sun would have changed the signs. So because of which this is going to be exactly, and to be precise, it's going to be taking place in the early degrees of Scorpio. Now friends, as you know this thing that when we talk about the difference between a solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, so solar eclipse is more predominant of creating darkness around you, but when we talk about from the perspective of lunar eclipse, it can actually bring out or can reveal some sort of truth to you. And definitely friends, anything to do with the eclipses, which is in itself is a significator that the environment tend to remain little bit sensitive. So the wheel remain very sensitive, and via doing spiritual practices you can actually get connected with the astral entities. Now friends, this lunar eclipse is little bit sensitive because the planetary alignments are going to be in a way that just because Mercury would have been already retrograde by the time Sun would have entered the sign of Taurus, and the Scorpio sign, because anything which takes place in the Scorpio, there is always intensity, there is always obsession, there is always concerns and potential of transformation being attached over there. And during this time, Scorpio is a sign which is getting aspected by both Jupiter and Saturn. So like Jupiter's aspect can still be seen as very beneficial, although the case is little bit different from Saturn's aspect perspective, and Mercury is also going to be looking at this Moon and Ketu combination in the Scorpio sign. So because of which friends, we have to stay a little bit cautious, we have to remain little bit aware. Although Ketu is going to be around 3 degrees away from the degrees of the Moon, but definitely the impact of Ketu can be felt on your subconsciousness, on your mind. Now friends, when we talk about from the perspective of the theme or the guidelines, so definitely friends, like the way we always say this thing that try to keep your life little bit easy, have connection with the nature, or drink lots of water at the time of the eclipse, which is going to be taking place at 5 AM UTC. So you have to take into consideration your location. So advisable is that either you should not eat any solid food, try to have lots of fluids, lots of water, and even if you have to eat some food, so 2 hours prior the time of the eclipse, and even putting turmeric on the food and then consuming it can be seen as one of the good ways of staying protected from the energies of the lunar eclipse. And friends, I have already mentioned this thing, doing meditation, doing japa, doing spiritual practices can be seen as one of the good way of channelizing the benefic or the positive side of this lunar eclipse. So okay friends, now I will just take you guys towards the customized impact of this eclipse on all the 12 moon signs and the ascendants, because friends, this eclipse is taking place in the Vishakha Nakshatra. The ownership of the Vishakha goes to the planet Jupiter, but the deities or the gods which preside over this nakshatra are very powerful gods. Like when we talk about Indra, one of the god which preside over this nakshatra, Indra's personality and character has been depicted in a way that someone who is very much inclined towards power. And when we talk about Agni, Agni also has got a lot of intensity to it, because all the rituals which we do, like towards the gods, all the havans which we do, so all the sacrifices generally first go to the Agni, then through it goes to all other astral entities and the gods. So because of which friends, try not to get into the negative side, like when we talk about becoming vindictive, becoming jealous, becoming possessive, becoming aggressive, only if you can work in all these areas. And also friends, I can also say this thing that whatsoever would have been promised to you at the time when Rahu and Ketu were transiting in the Taurus and the Scorpio, so some of the unfinished, unfulfilled promise from the past axis or transit of Rahu and Ketu can also be delivered to you during this time. And friends, I have already mentioned this thing. When we talk about Rahu and Ketu's current alignment, the whole theme and the whole objective of this axis of Rahu and Ketu is all about bringing transformation and opening up new beginning, new opportunities, new doors in our life. So definitely friends, remain very much receptive towards some new openings, new revelation which can take place in your life, which can also work in your benefit as well. Only thing which you have to work on is that keeping your life a bit simple, have that connection with the nature, go for long walks, go for some sort of retreat, do japa, do a mantra practice, and try not to get on towards the negative side of the Scorpion energy of getting bogged down by some mistakes, some wounds, or some crisis of the past. Now friends, jumping to the customized influence, so starting with the Aries moon or ascendant people. So definitely friends, in your case the 7th and the 8th house energy is going to come into play. So because of which friends, the whole energy of Scorpio and the rulership of Scorpio goes to the planet Mars only. So I would say that, you know, in your case you might get more strongly affected, that the demons of the past might try to bother you. But when we talk about only if you can work on keeping yourself calm and composed during the agitation which this eclipse can bring. So trust me friends, some new direction, guidelines and insights or epiphanies can also dawn upon you. So try to be very much driven towards the positive aspect of this eclipse rather than getting bogged down by the obsessiveness of the past. Friends, for all the Taurus people, so definitely friends, in your case the matters of relationship can actually come into the picture. Now when we talk about the time of the eclipse, which is never considered as auspicious for any material thing because of the the wheel of the illusion and confusion, nodes being very empowered. But again friends, when we talk about any sort of kind of closure which was required and needed in the matters of your relationship, in the matters of the commercial activities or any of the concerns of partnership, so you might get a revelation or truth might be revealed to you. And also friends, if you are kind of in a crossroad of the life that you do not know which road to take, which decision to make, so during this eclipse meditating and contemplating on your Ish Devta might give you insight on the path ahead for you. Now friends, for all the Gemini people, so now friends, definitely in your case this could be a little bit troublesome because the impact is going to be coming over your 6th house related matters. So all the disputes, allegation, enemies, enmity is generally seen from the 6th house. But again friends, when we talk about your competitive spirit, that is also attached with the 6th house. The concerns of health is also being attached with the 6th house. So I would say friends that definitely this lunar eclipse and the revelation which is going to come to you, that is definitely going to be working in your favor to make you more competent, make you more powerful and make you more competitive towards your goals. So regarding this front, I could say that in whatsoever line of work or nature of work you are engaged in, and let's say for example for all those people who are in medical field, nursing field or health or fitness industry, so definitely friends the impact is going to be strong. So friends, specifically for you guys, it's my advice that on material plane, if you have to initiate some important decision regarding your profession, regarding your career, so if you can postpone it or prepone it for a day or 2 days, that is going to be a right way of dealing with this energy. And also friends, like try to refrain from any sort of confrontation, arguments, or being instigated, being provoked by the wrong behavior of someone. So try to keep yourself bit calm and composed couple of days before and after of this eclipse energy. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Cancer people, so now friends, this thing, any of the concern of new moon, full moon or eclipses impact or influences the Cancer people the most. And now friends, in your case it's going to be influencing your 5th house. So now not only your emotions but also your intellect, your thought process is also going to get affected. But now friends, the beauty of the 5th house is that 5th house is also the house of creativity. 5th house is also the house of mantra siddhi, yoga, meditation, chanting. So I would say take more refuge in these activities. I am very confident that during this time, specifically a day before and after, the restlessness is going to be high, because as you know that Mercury is also retrograde, Saturn is also going to be aspecting your 5th house. So because of which, try not to take any decision out of haste, out of restlessness, and the more you can seek refuge in spiritual austerity, the better it is going to protect you. And for all those people who are in any sort of artistic or creative pursuit, some sort of epiphany or realization, or even in the matters of love and romance, so some sort of closure, some sort of truth to be revealed can be seen as a theme for all the Cancer people. Moving ahead, friends, now for all the Leo rising people or Leo moon people. So now friends, as you can freely see that whatsoever take place in the 4th house, it always has a deep impact in the core of our heart, in our feelings. So I would say, friends, that try not to be very agitated during this time. Try not to take any forceful decision pertaining to your domestic life. Now it has nothing to do with the material plane, but also on the emotional plane as well. Now friends, like for me, it becomes very easy to say these things because I live all by myself. By God's grace, everything is happy and dandy in my family. But when we talk about all those people who are in a joint family setup, and like let's say for example in certain families where they're already going through some problems or some sort of heated energy, so then you have to give extra caution in all these areas. And also friends, my advice that for any of the 4th house related important matters, try to be at calm, or try to look at the credibility and do's and don'ts thoroughly before taking any important decision, like if you're working in the fields of real estate, buying and selling of vehicles or anything. Moving ahead, friends, now for all the Virgo moon and the Virgo ascendant people. So now friends, as you can see this thing that at the time of the eclipse, your ascendant lord is going to be retrograde. Your 6th house is also very much potent right now, or it's going to be very potent at the time of the transit. And third thing is that friends, like whenever we talk about the time of the eclipse, because in your case it's going to be influencing your 3rd house, and 3rd house is the house of aggression, of drive, of initiatives. So first of all, refrain from any sudden, unpredictable initiatives and heated, forceful actions. Because friends, if you get deeper into the psychology of the people, like just keep the astrology sideline for a moment. Like a lot many times the aggressive action or the sexual perversion is a direct result of inner agitation, inner turmoil which a person is going through. So driven by, because all this Scorpio energy and heated energy coming in the matters of your 3rd house, so try to refrain from any sudden, unpredictable, forceful, heated decision during this time. Now this could be pertaining to the matters of your your decision making, influencing your friends, influencing your siblings, so or any of the important work or business related decision needs to be refrained from. And also friends, like I would say that 3rd house, which is also the house of short journeys and all of that, so take out time for some spiritual retreat, go for a fresh air morning walk, have lot of fluid, lot of water, and try to keep things bit relaxed, bit calm a day before and after the eclipse. Moving ahead, friends, now for all the Libra moon and the ascendant people. So now friends, in your case it's going to be influencing your at the end of your 1st house energy and the 2nd house energy. So definitely friends, 2nd house is the house of our finances, our speech, our values. So definitely friends, make use of your speech for some mantra chanting or for some spiritual austerity. Second thing is that definitely friends, the time of eclipse is never considered as a good omen for any important material decision. So if that is getting qualified in your case, so refrain from any important big financial decision. And also friends, when we talk about your eating habits and all of that, so as you know this thing that it's like try not to consume any solid food just during the time of the eclipse, or if you can drink lots of water, or even if you have to eat food, so just put little bit turmeric on it and just try to keep things relaxed. Avoid consumption of alcohol or very greasy food. So those are the only few things which I want to say over here, that give more attention to the spiritual aspect. And also friends, like because at the any sort of donation even done at the time of the eclipses are always considered as very good. Like that is what we do in our Vedic rituals, like the donations which has been made at the time of the new moon is considered as very good, that the good result of that goes to your ancestors, to your pitris, and at the time of the full moon affects and improves your psychological state. So I would say do some donation, do some mantra chanting, and refrain from important financial decision if it can be avoidable a day before and after of the eclipse. Moving ahead, friends, now for all the Scorpio people, so now friends, in your case the impact or the influence is going to be strong. Now friends, I have already mentioned this thing, the time of lunar eclipse is always the time of the revelation. So let's say for example, whatsoever was meant to come to you, now this could be any closure, this could be any truth, this could be any guideline, this could be any new direction. So I would say that remain very much welcoming towards that because of the influence impact coming right over there in your first house. And we cannot even overlook this fact that it's not only the aspect of Saturn, but the aspect of Jupiter is also falling over there in the Scorpio energy. So remain very much receptive towards that. Watch the way the kind of thoughts are coming to you, the way circumstances are developing, and be in a laid back and a back foot mode rather than provoking, argumentative or confrontation mode. And I would also say friends, any sort of mantra practice, spiritual austerity can be seen as a very good way of dealing with the energy of this lunar eclipse. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Sagittarius people, so definitely friends, in your case, whatsoever meant to be revealed to you, now this could be some hidden truth or people who needed to be exposed, so all of that can take place a week before rather, I would say, and a week after as well, because it's going to be impacting or influencing your 12th house related energies. And friends, I always say this thing, that whenever we talk about any of the communication with the astral entities, that can only take place either where Ketu is placed in your chart or the elements or the matters of the 12th house. So take interest in any sort of spiritual austerity. Second thing is that friends, because if in your case your natal moon has got the aspect of Saturn or Rahu, or you're going through a time of agitation, so do not take refuge in alcohol or excessive sexual indulgences, because it's going to only make things worse for you, or it could give little bit of the emotional agitation, concerns of jealousy, possessiveness, enmity. So all the negative Scorpion energy might bite you, might trouble you. So stay away from them, seek refuge in spiritual austerity, and whatsoever truth meant to be revealed to you throughout the time when Rahu and Ketu were transiting in the Taurus and Scorpio, that might come to you. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Capricorn people, so now friends, in your case, when we talk about your path or your goals, so some sort of truth regarding your path, regarding your goal can be revealed to you during this time. When we talk about your social engagement and social presence and social activities, there is no harm in that unless and until you know that not mixing up with people who bring out the worst of you, or all those people who trigger you, or you do not get along or get good vibes from those people. So refrain from any sort of engagement with those people or during those activities during this time, at the time of the predomination of the eclipse. And friends, as I have already mentioned this thing, that the energy of the lunar eclipse is a time of revelation, and just because it's taking place in the Scorpio, so and the Vishakha energy, so any sort of title, any sort of goals or rewards which was meant for you, or any of the lost connection, lost friend, old friend might also come back or might also resurface back in your life, or his presence might be felt during this time. So try to remain very much welcoming and receptive towards that. The only thing which is getting qualified in your case, your behavior in any sort of social gathering or public setting. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Aquarius people, so now friends, in your case, as you can fairly see that the impact and influence is going to come in the matters of your 10th house, which is the house of your actions, which is the house of your public outdoor activities. So specifically friends, pertaining to the matters of your profession, if you are in that stage of your life that you're already going through hard times, like your bosses are giving you hard time, you are being very overburdened with the pressure at the work, so please maintain the calm. Do not take any agitated, any impulsive decision during this time. And also friends, like I would say this thing, that any sort of donations, charity done at the time of the eclipse is always give us good luck, and any sort of mantra practice, japa, ritual, so I would say that seek more refuge in all those activities. Keep your life bit simple and refrain from any vindictive, aggressive, possessive behavior or action during this time, specifically which is going to have a straight impact or influence on your profession or on your career, or your dealing and your relationship with your bosses. Lastly friends, for all the Pisces people, so definitely friends, in your case the impact is going to come strong because of your moon sign or your ascendant being carrying the deepest of the water. So definitely friends, this can be seen as a very good energy for you guys for any sort of religious austerity, specifically where we talk about your connection with your Ishta Devta. I always say this thing friends, that whenever we talk about the time of the eclipses, the time of the new moon or full moon, this is the time that any sort of mantra chanting practice can accelerate very good spiritual result. And also friends, any sort of donations done during this time straight away goes and benefit our ancestors, our departed ancestors. So I would say that friends, take refuge in all those activities, and if in your line of work, nature of work, any important travel which is unavoidable and you are going to take during this time, so try to keep things in check, in proper control. So these are the only few things which I want to say for all the rising signs, all the moon signs. So friends, for further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyavad.